So hey, what's up guys, this is eccentric.vfx. This video is for Jigsaw transition and I'll be continuing this transition right away, but firstly, for After Effects users, I will suggest you guys to check out Unknown Edits and Rocklins, and for DaVinci Resolver, I will highly suggest you guys to follow Grizz. He makes some insane edits and his tutorials are also available. Go check out them, and let's dive into our Jigsaw transition tutorial for Premiere Pro. So let's start with our project file. This is my project which I made for Espresso. For the people who have seen my edit previously for Espresso, this is one of my scenes. I have to make a particular transition between these. I'll be adding Jigsaw. Firstly, what we'll do is get a still frame, which is like frame hold. So we'll be starting our effect, which will be like from here. I have edited on this previously also, but here is this portion where we'll be starting our next clip. So the next clip starts from here and the transition should start from here. Firstly, what we'll do is get a still frame. Particularly I like this frame, which is the first frame. I make a mark in and also a mark out. This gives us a one frame. Press Ctrl M on your keyboard. Once you pressed Ctrl M, there is this format type. Select format as PNG, then this will format as in PNG sequence. Then what you want to do is select the location where you want to store it, somewhere in pictures, yes, I will save it as transit. I'll name it as transit and save it. Then I'll export this. This is just a PNG and a screenshot, so it will export. Personally, why I like to edit on this is, you can see this hand over here. I want to remove this. You can directly work along it too, but I prefer it clean. So what I'll do is, I'll open my Photoshop and select the quick selection tool from here. You can also press W for it, and then zoom in into this part, which is like the hand of rays. Go here and mask it out using this quick selection tool. It's a very handy tool if you wanna mask out something. Press Ctrl J and hide this. So this isn't that clear and that sharp, but it will work because the transition is very quick and it is not that noticeable. Once this is done, go to Files, Export as PNG, quick export as PNG, and we'll name it as hand. That's enough. Nice. Then once it's done, press Ctrl Z one more time. Okay, we are back to our selection. Press Shift F5, then select it as content aware and press OK. Once it's done, this has been masked out. Deselect it and reselect the few areas which you want to clear off, and repeat this step again and again. Press Alt to deselect and left click to select it. Do this multiple times until you get the desired result. Here we don't need a very clear masking. This will work fine. This will work absolutely good. Just go to Files and save it. Now we have our file, which is like two files. I'll show them. One is transit and one is hand. This is an optional step. You can totally skip it. We'll go to our Premiere Pro. Once we are back to Premiere Pro, what we will do is import these both files which we exported from Photoshop. Take this clip and drag it to our scene. Trim this to the length of transition which we want. So like I want my transition to start from this mark, which I have marked already, and I will start it from here, and it should end right where this my other clip starts. So I will trim it to this length. I will make multiple layers of this particular scene, which is like you can just hold Alt on your keyboard and then left click on it and drag it up. This way you can make multiple layers of this particular clip. Duplicate the layers. So we will duplicate this multiple times. For now I'm gonna work on the first layer. I will shift these aside. Mask out different elements from this particular scene, which is like, for me it's a box. Here is the box, here is this wall and this roof and this one layer of wall, and there is this floor. I will like mask them out in different layers for this. Like first layer should consist of the ground or floor, whatever I'm adding. It's totally dependent on you, but I will suggest to take these outlines from like specific elements. Like this is a box here, so take these separately. Don't add up multiple elements like ground and box together. You can do it, but it's up to you. For making the transition as clean as possible, make these selections separate from each other, which is like I'll mask this out and this together, but both have a separation, so like both will be a different part. So yeah, firstly I will show you how to do it. For masking out, what you can do is select this pen tool from the opacity tab. Once you have selected this, just draw your masking according to your boundaries that you need and just close it, and this will be a particular mask ready for you. This is how you do it, and I will be fast forwarding the step. You can do it according to your choice. So here is our first mask which is done. I will suggest to keep the feather to 5 or less, as it's more clean and the transition will look more clean as you remove the feather. For some transitions, feather is very important, but for some, to make it look clean, it is better to keep it less. I'll not make it 0, but I'll keep it as 5. Repeat this step for other elements too. As you can see, I have masked both of them out. I'll do the similar process for other elements too. You can avoid the areas you have already selected, so you can draw above them. It won't make any issues. Now I'm gonna do the same for the floor. As you can see, we have done this much. Now we will add a few more elements such as the wall here, the back wall and roof. This will be for our background walls. What I've done is I have rearranged them in an order where the first layer would be the layer that I want to come up first. So I've rearranged them in an order. First layer would be the floor, second would be these two elements, third would be these two elements, fourth would be this one nest, fifth is the wall, and last one is the roof. So we'll drag our hand and also add it here, and we will keep it of the same length. Firstly, go to the first frame and take this ground transition here. I have added this endpoint, which is like where my transition should stop. And after this I have a 1 2 3 4 3.5 frames of gap here, so 3.5 frames are enough. It depends on your song speed particularly, but it's up according to you. For me, I won't nest it yet. Shift these elements according to my choice. Keyframe all of their positions here on this particular frame. I'll be doing the same for the hand clip too. And now what I'll be doing is going at the first point of my transition, where my transition should start, which is like for this one, which is my floor. Take the y-axis and drop it significantly down till I can't see it on the screen. So my transition should be something like this. I'll go 5 frames further and do the same for this one. I'll shift 5 frames further and do the same for this one too. I'll be repeating this step for all the clips. And lastly, the roof part, which is not cropped, it is the entire image. Now, a transition is done, but we haven't added any curves yet, which will make it smoother, and still we haven't added the hand one. I will take a random point which will be for hand. Can adjust it according to you. Okay, this is my clip and transition, so it should come up like this. So this is my transition. What I'll do is take the particular frame, drop it down, and we will add this curve to each and every frame we have made here. Pull these points, which will add a motion to it and a slower pop-in animation. Okay, so it speeds up and then slows down. I will nest them all. I will search for a particular effect called blur. There are multiple blur, but we will go for directional blur. Select all of these clips and drag the directional blur here. This is the ending frame of our every clip. Set a keyframe for every blur. We added the hand transition. We will set the blur to 20. Do the same for all the keyframes. And we will finally nest this. Now our transition is ready, but still we need to add some blur to the clip down there to make it look smooth. This is how our transition look with blur. Take this and nest it out. We'll also add normal blur to it. Okay, there is this camera blur. We will add this here. We will keyframe it at 0, and till the end of our transition we will keyframe it at 25. Okay, this is our transition done. I will render this selection. Okay, our effect has been rendered, and this is the final outro. So this is how we make a jigsaw transition in Premiere Pro, and thanks for watching, guys. Like, share and subscribe, and for further tutorials on Premiere Pro for particular transitions and effects, follow me.